Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this quick review of NXT Roadblock. And this was quite a strange show because it didn't really feel like any of the matches really came through that strong. In fact, we were doing live reaction scoring during the live stream and the reactions and the scores came back as okay, good, but nothing great. Certainly nothing all-time, nothing that's going to be a match of the year contender or anything like that. So I would say that was an area that felt a bit weak, but we can work our way through it. We started with an intro from Lexis King, and then we went into our first match, which was Dijak against Joe Gase. Now, I was really hoping that this was going to be hard-hitting. That's what you expect from a Dijak match, and it certainly had some great moments. There was a big moonsault in here from Dijak, which looked very impressive. So definitely got to give him props to that. I think there was one part, though, that was a bit flat for me, and that was this box that said, "Do not open." And they were teasing it, and it became a big focus in the match. Rather than them just fighting, this box became like a big focus. And what it turned out to be was a boxing glove that ended up punching Dijak in the groin. I said, like, I find this Joe Gase character to be quite confused in the sense of it's sort of like, I don't know, is it Doink but without the makeup? We've seen him using a boxing glove on a stick before. We know that he's unhinged. We know that he's a madman. But we see a bit of like comedy kind of in this act as well, in this gimmick. And it showed again here. And I just think there's times where it just doesn't feel like it fits. So yeah, I'm still very confused by Joe Gase. I think that's part of it. I think you're meant to be confused by Joe Gase, but I didn't think that that moment helped. Also, I've got to say there were some weak looking strikes here. Some like forearms and some stomps that didn't really, it could be camera angles. Absolutely, from a different camera angle, it could have, you know, potentially looked better. But either way, it still looked a bit soft and, again, just not what I expected from this match. So this was the bit with the boxing glove to the groin bit, the box saying "do not open," the moonsault bit, which obviously we can't show the clips because of copyright reasons, which I know is frustrating. But you know, these are the moments during the match. There was some good stuff though. As we said, the moonsault looked good. I really liked the tape over the eyes. He got Gacy into the straitjacket, started beating him with the kendo stick, hurled him through a door. Dijak ended up getting the win. I think it's the right person to win. I really like Dijak. I really want to like Joe Gase, but I just don't get the character at the moment. I can't find that connection. I don't find him cool. I don't find him really that interesting. I think there's work to be done with Joe Gase. It's work that can easily be done, but we're not quite hitting the sweet spot for me at the moment. But Dijak, I thought, was very deserving and was a lot of fun. So yeah, that match ended up getting like 52% good. The rating for it was okay, as we said, but not the great Asylum match I think we were hoping for. Then we got Ruca meeting up with the Don. This is going to be the newest member of the family. So he called him the consigliere. Not easy for me to say. But yeah, he is the newest member, which is good. Feels like a natural fit. And we also had Fallon talking to Riley about Thea. Blair interrupted. Basically said, "Who are you to give advice?" All this sort of stuff. And it set up a match for later. Then we went to our second match. This was Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin taking on Chase U. Bron looked great in this at times. There's bits where he's hitting the ropes and just absolutely flying. I mean, he really does get up some speeds. And he looked really, really good in this. There was a moment towards the end where Thea stormed off, and I didn't see why she stormed off. I felt like I did catch JC giving that kind of a hand signal, though. you know, the Rock's hand signal. Perhaps she's joining up with the Rock. But no, she gave that kind of loser sort of hand signal. I don't know if she was doing that and Thea saw, and that's what made Thea storm away. I was a bit confused as to why Thea ended up storming away. But yeah, basically it came to an end with the finish was, I believe, an end of days to Andre Chase, who then got up and was speared. And I don't like it. I think if you're going to get hit with one of Baron's signature moves right at the end, I sort of feel like you stay down. It feels like he only gets up so that he can then be speared. That's the only reason he gets up. From a psychological point of view, I'm not sure that that works. It seemed a bit strange him being hit with this big move from Baron, only for him to then get straight back up. I mean, he was not down for long at all. He's right back up. And then he gets speared, and then he gets put away. And so it means that we've got these two still as our NXT Tag Team Champs. No issue with the result. No issue with the result at all. But yeah, just not sure with that finish. But Thea storming out was interesting. And obviously we would get some development on that later. So yeah, what happened? I really want to play this. I don't know. Look, you can see Gacy, look, doing that in the background. I think Thea spots that. And I think that's why she storms off, because you can see she's unhappy here in this moment. And this is a really good place to have it paused, actually, because you can see Gacy doing that hand gesture in the background. So I think Thea spotted it, and that's why she stormed away. Right, then we had Carmelo shown with his new security, and then we knew that we were getting Shawn Spears coming up next. Shawn Spears with his entrance. Shawn Spears, this is interesting because Shawn Spears doesn't strike me as someone that needs, like, you know, dark, kind of moody entrance with writing all on the wall. I just don't get that vibe from him. And he came out to have his match with Uriah Connors. Didn't take long. Lovely move in this match where he gets Connor's arms behind his back, starts throwing in these knees to Connor's face. Connor can't do anything. He can't defend himself because his arm is trapped. Love that spot. Love that spot. There's a couple of moments in this match that look really good for Shawn Spears. This did okay, 61% good, which was the same as the tag match. And it was only very short, this, though, so you can tell what he did do was effective and landed and looked good. And then he did a promo after, and he was calling out Ridge Holland. He was kind of half in the dark, half in light, and it looked good, but I just think he doesn't have the right delivery. There's not enough punch in his delivery for him to be cutting those kinds of promos. His delivery is sort of chit-chatty. It doesn't really feel, or at least it doesn't come across that he's really, like, you know, really delivering these lines with any menace, or, like, you know, really, like, pausing and taking his time to spit out each line and make sure they're landing. Like, it just seems a bit chit-chatty in his delivery. And I thought it was also strange for him to be interrupted, considering this is one of the first times we've seen him speak. And straight away, like, he's mid-promo and out comes Ridge Holland. So, yeah, you know, he kind of goaded Ridge into hitting him with the chair. Ridge didn't want to do it. Clearly, we're on a collision course for a match further down the road. There he is, look, with a big smile on his face, and even WWE asking the question, did Shawn just bait Ridge into attacking him? Then we had the Kabuki Warriors. So next week, we know that we've got Brooks Jensen taking on Obafemi. Josh Briggs tried to talk him out of it. Dijak was around, so maybe Josh and Dijak might have a little something starting up, and Brooks takes on Obafemi next week. So then we had the Kabuki Warriors. They were taking on Lyra and Tatum. This was again, okay. It was okay. It had some moments. I don't think there was much doubt about which way this match was going to go. They were working quite well as a team. Kyrie looks amazing in this. There's a moment towards the end where she hits this spinning back fist. Oh, I thought she had took Lyra's head off. Then she hits like the elbow as well. The finish to this looks so good. But the rest of the match was just so-so. Probably the big talking point is Lyra accidentally catching Tatum during the match. So, you know, accidentally catching Tatum. So don't know what the fallout of that is going to be. I'm very interested to look on social media and see what the reaction has been. And obviously we'll have an unseen video coming up on the channel. But it resulted in these two retaining their titles, and obviously we knew this would happen. They're going to go on to face Shayna and Zoe next week on Raw. Didn't expect Lyra and Tatum to win, but what is the fallout from Lyra and Tatum? Miscommunication. What's going to be the fallout of that? Then also backstage, Thea was brawling with what I thought was Gacy because of what had happened with the L thing earlier. Turns out it was Kiana and Izzy. And then later we hear from Thea that next she's got herself into a tag match. So next week it's going to be Kiana and Izzy taking on Thea, and she thought JC. But when she went up to JC to say, look, I've got myself into this situation, JC was like, well, I don't know who's teaming with you, but it ain't going to be me. And she walked away. Now, I think it's going to be Fallon, would be my guess, because Fallon and Thea have been close recently. So I'm guessing it'll be Fallon. But clearly, we're teasing a split between JC and Thea now. In fact, we've been doing that for a little while, in all truth. And then this moment, so after that tag match, Roxanne Perez would grab Lyra's arm and smash it into the ring post, jump down on it, and Lyra would end up going to hospital. I mean, boy, this was a big moment, man. I am loving the way that we are presenting Roxanne at the moment. I think this edgy heel Roxanne is probably the most compelling version of her I've ever seen. So I am really into what we're doing with her right now. And I think the selling of this could have been a little better from Lyra. No drama. But I think like the acting side for Lyra, she struggles with a little bit. You can tell when she's doing those bits backstage with Tatum, she sort of struggles a little bit with her reacting. Like, she's a bit amateur dramatics, you know, no offense. It's something she's working on, you know, or everyone in NXT is working on stuff. But she can be a little, you know, a bit amateur dramatics in her response. It cannot feel quite as natural. And I just felt that a little bit here as well. But it was a cool looking spot from Roxanne, and it resulted in Lyra being taken to hospital in an ambulance. We even saw Shawn Michaels showing concern. So don't know what the fallout of that's going to be as well. But yeah, there it is. That's the moment that she was loaded into the ambulance. WWE saying, hate to see this, but get well soon, Lyra. Then we went on to our next match. So we went on to the Fallon Blair match. This didn't get loads of time, but they worked at a lovely pace. And honestly, like, this was one of the better matches on the show, I thought, but it was too short to really get anywhere. But the big talking point is Sol Ruca attacking Blair Davenport. Sol Ruca back and attacking Blair, and that meant that Fallon was able to secure the victory. So Sol Ruca being back is awesome. She can do awesome stuff. People are going to be very excited about that. But again, you know, that feels like Sol Ruca Blair on a collision course. Look at this, man. Yeah, this was cool. This was really cool. So Charlie and the No Quarter Catch crew were in the ring. Basically, Charlie said, this means so much to me. And then all of a sudden, William Regal comes out. One of the best moments on the show, man. William Regal comes out. Crowd were chanting, that's your dad. And Oh, I thought Daddy's home would be a better chant, actually, but that's your dad was the chant. And he basically said, like, you know, this cup means so much. When I look at this, I think about the people that came before me. This really honors them. And he says, you know, make sure you defend this with integrity and honor. And Charlie stepped up to William Regal and said, I'll defend this cup better than you ever could. Ooh, and there was a smile on the face of William Regal for that. He loved seeing his son step up to him and say that. I don't think there was any acknowledgement in this segment, though, that Charlie Dempsey was his son, which I thought was a bit strange. You know, I thought there might be, I'll defend this cup better than you ever could, Dad. Or, you know, a little son from William Regal. But there was nothing. Not that I picked up anyway. And that was it. That was how it ended. So I'm not sure what we're doing here, but it was just a cool moment, to be honest. We did see Noam Dar gutted backstage, but he says that he's looking to the meta future now. So I think Noam Dar might be done with the Heritage Cup, and we might be off exploring something new for him, which, to be honest, now is a perfectly good time. We've been doing Heritage Cup for a long time for him. We also saw Ava and Gigi. Gigi basically said that she wanted Ariana Grace, but Ariana Grace didn't want to fight. Ariana Grace said she would, but if she wins, then she wants to help Gigi find her inner beauty, which makes me think somehow Ariana's going to win, and then we're going to get segments where she's trying to help Gigi find her inner beauty. You know, kind of similar to Fallon and Tiffany, when Fallon won and then Tiffany had to be a stable girl. I'm kind of thinking we're going to do like vignettes where Ariana's going to be with Gigi trying to help her find her inner beauty. So that match coming up, I think it's next week. And at the moment, I'm thinking Ariana might win that. So yeah, we had all of that stuff. This was the moment. I'll defend this cup better than you ever could. Look at that. Father and son, eh? Awesome. Then we had the security guards, and the chat was saying that they thought one of these was going to be Trick, and I completely agreed. Completely agreed. I was like, yeah, that's a good shout. Do you reckon it's that one there? Do you reckon it's this one here? We were trying to figure out who it was. Turned out to be none of them, right? Turned out to be none of them. But we got the main event. Tony taking on Carmelo Hayes. Winner faces Elia at Stand and Deliver. And honestly, I think there's a good chance that the winner of this going to Stand and Deliver, I think there's a good chance they win, because what more is there for Elia to do? For me, he's ready to go to the main roster, and he could get called up at WrestleMania or even the Raw after WrestleMania. I don't think he needs the title past Stand and Deliver. So whoever was going to win this, I fancied their chances. I fancied Tony to do it because I thought we would see Trick. And Tony played Trick's music. That distracted Carmelo. Carmelo ended up losing the match. So that was the moment there where he gets distracted by the music. Trick doesn't come out, and Tony ends up securing the win. So it will be Tony Elia. I'm leaning Tony beating Elia at Stand and Deliver. But then Tony said, did you like my trick that I played on you earlier? Well, I've got a present for you now. And that's when Trick Williams came out, and he was all kinds of fired up, man. He was so fired up. He was so fired up. There was so much energy at the end of this show that honestly, I think it really helped the score of the show. So for me, this is going to be a 6.75. I think that a lot of the matches were just sort of there. There was moments in the matches, but none of the matches really delivered. There was a few bits actually that I really was like, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. But all in all, it was, I think by the end of it, a pretty solid offering. Massively helped by William Regal, the return of Sol Ruca, the return of Trick Williams. I mean, honestly, if people were at 7s, I wouldn't argue. If you was at a 7.25, I wouldn't argue. I do think the in-ring, though, needed to be better for this to be getting into the 8s. Right? If the in-ring matches, if we had a couple of real bangers in there, then we could have a conversation. But without that, we're just relying on the moments. and some solid matches, which is why I'm at 675. But as I said, you know, someone took me for a drink, tried to twist my arm, bought me a pint, told me to go to 7. Maybe I could, but I'm quite happy on 675. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I want to see what this is. Did something bad, but why does it feel so good, says Roxanne. Oh, there we go. WWE reposting that. Roxanne putting that out 57 minutes ago. I did something bad, but why does it feel so good? Wow. It's just like eating cookies, isn't it, really? They're bad for you, but they taste amazing. So there we go. Appreciate the support. Thanks a lot for watching. Share your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you again next time for SmackDown. And we'll do one of these initial reviews straight after that show as well. Bye for now.